Let us be lovers, we'll marry our fortune together. I've got some real estate here in my bag. So we bought a pack of cigarettes, Mrs. Wagner's pies, and we walked off to look for America. Kathy, I said as we boarded a Greyhound in Pittsburgh, Michigan seems like a dream to me now. It took me 4 days to hitchhike from Saginaw. I've gone to look for America. Laughing on the bus, playing games with the faces. She said the man in the gabardine suit was a spy. I said, be careful, his bow tie is really a camera. Toss me a cigarette, I think there's one in my raincoat. Now we smoked the last one an hour ago. So I looked at the scenery. She read her magazine, and the sun rose open field. Kathy, I'm lost, I said, though I knew she was sleeping. I'm empty and aching and I don't know why. Counting the cars on the New Jersey Turnpike, they've all gone to look for America. All gone to look for America. All gone to look for America.
This is a new day. This is a new day full of sound and searching, looking for America. This day has been waiting for you. It's been waiting especially for you, to embrace you, to guide you. This day has been waiting with open arms, just for you. This is the day we have been given. Let's not waste it. Come now, and let us worship together. Please rise and body your spirit for our first hymn, hymn 21, For the Beauty of the Earth. For the Beauty of the Earth.
For the beauty of the earth, for the splendor of the skies, for the love which from our birth over and around us lies, source of all, to thee we joy of ear and eye, for the heart and mind's delight, for the mystic harmony, linking sense to sound and sight. Source of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the wonder of each hour, of the day and of the night, hill and vale and tree and flower, sun and moon and stars of might. Source of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the joy of human care, sister, brother, parent, child, for the kinship we all share, for all gentle thoughts and mild. Source of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise.
Well, good morning, everyone. How are you all doing today? How are you all doing? Oh, wow, it's like a roller coaster. Good, good. It's a beautiful day out, right? It's sunny, not too hot. Someone asked me how my summer is going. I said, it's going great. It's really good to be with you all this morning. We have so much cool stuff happening at this church. I just want to name a few of those things. On the back of your order of service, there's a bunch of announcements of upcoming events. I'm just going to highlight a couple of them. Next Saturday, September 20th, we're inviting someone who's come here quarterly, Roshi Dyken Nelson, for a one-day retreat. And he's actually going to join us Sunday as well, on the 21st, here during worship, to talk about his Zen approach to belonging, which should be really wonderful. But if you'd love to join for any part of the meditation, you can email me at that email, let me know. You're welcome to come for any part of it. And we typically have a really great lunch at the end of the day, and then a conversation. And the conversation will be on the gateless gate. The gateless gate, which should be really exciting. And then save the date. We're going to celebrate the fall equinox. So September 22nd at 6:30 p.m. in our wonderful courtyard. I'm hoping the weather holds. But we have indoor plans as well if it doesn't. But save the date. Fall equinox should be a really good time for everybody. And then I heard Sue Angelotti is downsizing, and she's having an art sale this coming Saturday. And she said everything must go. So if you want some art for your home, see Sue Angelotti at her house. If you need her phone number, address, you can get it from the office. I'm sure she would appreciate that. At her house. Yeah, I believe so. And I would love to now invite Karen Lapidus, who has a very exciting announcement for us.
So I have 4 data points to share with you, and the first 3 are kind of mundane, but the final one will absolutely knock your socks off. So number 1 data point.
Karen, can you move the mic down?
Is this better? Okay, so the number 1 data point is that in 1961, the Universalists and the Unitarians consolidated to form the Unitarian Universalist Association of Congregations, which is our denomination, the UUA. Here's the second data point. There are approximately 1,000 congregations across the United States in the UUA. So it's not large, but 1,000 congregations is a significant number. Here's the third data point. Since that consolidation in 1961, the UUA has only had 11 presidents, only 11 elected leaders of our denomination. So now, are you ready for the data point which will knock your socks off? All right. 2 of those 11 presidents of the UUA served as ministers here at UUYO. 2 of the 11. Paul Carnes in the late 70s, and recently Susan Frederick Gray. 2 UUA presidents have lived among us and have preached from that pulpit and have called this church home. Obviously, we are the church that launches UUA presidents. We have a rich and impactful history to celebrate. So please join us on the evening of Saturday, October 18th. We will gather to celebrate that this building has been here on Wick Park for 100 years. We do need everyone to RSVP, though, so you can RSVP to the church email address, or you can even check in with Mary Beth at the office and let her know. So join us October 18th for fellowship and to learn a little bit more about our fascinating and surprising history.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. As I do this morning's child sliding, I'm going to tell you a little story, and then I'm going to ask you to pray with me. Earlier this week, I met a young student at YSU. Her name is Inat. She's from Bangladesh. Inat grew up in a very good family in Bangladesh. Despite the turmoil that was happening around her, her family was very supportive, helped her go to university, and get a great job at an accounting firm in her city. She was ready to begin a family and enjoy her life. Then her parents met this great recruiter from Youngstown State University who told them about this advanced program in economics that would help their daughter take things to the next level. They saw it as an opportunity and convinced their daughter to leave her good job and move to the United States for a master's program in a vibrant community that the recruiter promised. Fast forward to Annette coming to university, enrolling in the economics department, and realizing she has no place to live. 2 weeks later, she's in an apartment, a studio apartment, with 2 other students, paying $700 a month, with no bed, no Wi-Fi to do her schoolwork, and no food. It's a true story. Students all across the world are being sold high expectations for our community, and we can be that. But right now, we're not. These students are coming from other countries and don't have the things they need every single day. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later on, but I'm asking you now to join me and pray for students like Inat. Spirit of love that knows no borders, we gather in reverence for all who journey, for the immigrant who leaves behind the known, for the refugee who flees in fear of violence or despair. We remember that each step taken is a step toward survival, a step towards dignity, a step toward the promise of a better tomorrow. We honor the courage it takes to cross deserts and oceans, to carry children on weary shoulders, to face uncertainty with only faith to guide the way. May our hearts be open to their stories, for in their journeys we see the resilience of the human spirit, and in their presence we glimpse the truth that none of us are ever truly strangers. May we remember that no human being is illegal, that the worth of a person cannot be defined by a document, that every culture, every language, every song adds richness to the human chorus. May our communities be places of welcome, our tables wide enough for us all to sit, our laws tempered with justice and mercy. Grant us courage to resist the walls of fear, wisdom to dismantle systems that exclude, and compassion to act, not only with words, but with hands and hearts ready to serve. Spirit of love, remind us always we are bound together by one earth, one sky, one hope. Let us dream a world where all may find home, where children may grow in safety, where families may flourish in peace, and where every traveler is received in open arms. Amen. We light this chalice today for all those traveling who need a place to belong.
Now let's take a small step toward welcome. Let's greet each other. Say hello.
Our story today, written by me, is titled Welcoming Everybody. When I got to church this morning, I was thinking about all the things that my body has already done today. I got out of bed, I showered, ate, brushed my teeth, and drove here to church. My heart has beat around 14,500 times since I woke up. And by the end of the day, my heart will have pumped around 2,500 gallons of blood. Okay, everyone, blink your eyes. Do you know that your brain recognized the sounds I am making 10 times faster than you just blinked? Our bodies are amazing. Think of what your body has done and can do and what you're the proudest of. Let's give a round of applause for our amazing bodies. Now, let's think about who is in charge of all that amazingness, of all that power, which is our body. Can anyone tell me who's in charge of your body? That's right, our body belongs to each of us, and we are the ones who are in charge of it. So, what does that mean for how we interact with each other? Since we respect each other and honor each other and our inherent worth and dignity, we also honor each other's autonomy. That means our right to our own choices and actions with our body. During coffee hour, we would never make an announcement that every person was required to drink a cup of coffee. Now, would we? So we would give each person an opportunity to drink a cup of coffee, but it would be up to each person whether or not they want to drink the coffee. Now, I invite you to reflect for a moment. You are welcome to close your eyes, if that's helpful, and think of a moment when you had a choice to make and what it felt like to have the right to decide for yourself how you would choose. What does that feel like in your body? Think about that. Now, let's just end with a simple practice. In just a minute, I invite you to turn to your neighbor and ask if you can give them a fist bump. They are completely free to respond in any kind of way, either yes or no. And we keep in mind that no is our right and not a reflection of the other person. So no hard feelings. All right, ask away. The end. Now, I would like to invite the children up. They can come and stand down here. We're going to read our covenant together. You can find that in your order of service. Okay, don't touch that. Okay. Ready? Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth and love, and to help one another. And now we're going to sing our children out. Those words are also in your order of service. Go now in peace.
Go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Go now in peace. Go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
With us this morning. Lisa from the League of Women Voters is here to share a few words about the organization we're going to be giving to this month.
Hello, and thank you for the invitation to speak. As president of the League of Women Voters of Greater Youngstown, it is a pleasure to see so many friends and supporters of our work, and to have the opportunity to introduce the League to those who may not know of us and our mission. Born of the women's suffrage movement, the League was founded in 1920, just 6 months before the 19th Amendment was ratified and women won the right to vote. The mission then and now is to help voters carry out their civic responsibilities, primarily the right to vote, and to have their voices heard. And we expand on that mission to further voter rights, educate the electorate, and advocate for issues that particularly affect women and children. Over the decades, we have registered millions of Americans to vote, and we have sponsored and hosted many candidate debates and forums on the issues of the day. We're a tri-federated organization, as once you are a member at all levels, federal, state, and local. And since every year is an election year, every year we print our voter guide. In 2006, we launched vote411.org, the online presence of our guide. I consider this our sacred duty, as the guide and the website informs voters of the issues, pro and con, and the candidate's position in their own unedited words. It is our stated mission to be nonpartisan, to empower voters, and to defend democracy. But let's talk about that nonpartisan thing for a minute. Our League will never endorse any candidate. Our League will never endorse any political party. But nonpartisan doesn't mean apolitical. We will fight on every level to fully and fairly fund our public schools, and we will continue to advocate for fair district maps and fair election laws. We will fight against any barrier placed between a qualified voter and their ability to cast their vote. Currently, at the state level, the Ohio version of the SAVE Act is moving much too quickly through our House and Senate. It is unnecessary and it is undemocratic. It solves no problem and will only prevent eligible voters, particularly the elderly, rural, LGBTQIA, and most especially married women, from having their voices heard and their votes count, and it must be stopped. This all seems just a little too full circle. More than 100 years ago, we're still fighting for a woman's right to vote. And so with everything old being new again, I will close with a quote from one of our founders, Carrie Chapman Catt. She said this in 1917. Everybody counts in applying democracy, and there will never be a true democracy until every responsible and law-abiding adult in it, without regard to race, sex, color, or creed, has his or her own inalienable and unpurchasable voice in government. I am humbled to be here. Once again, I thank you.
Sitting in railway station, got a ticket for my destination. On a tour, one night stands, my suitcase and guitar in hand. And every stop is neatly planned for a poet and a one-man band.
Homeward bound, I wish I was homeward bound.
Home, where my thoughts escaping, home, where my music's playing, home, where my love lies waiting silently for me.
Every day's an endless stream of cigarettes and magazines. And each town looks the same to me, the movies and the factories. And every stranger's face I see reminds me that I long to be homeward bound. I wish I was homeward bound. Home, where my thoughts escaping, home, where my music's playing, home, where my love lies waiting silently for me.
Tonight I'll sing my songs again, play the game and pretend. But all my words come back to me in shades of mediocrity, like empty harmony. I need someone to comfort me.
Homeward bound, I wish I was homeward bound. Home, where my thoughts escaping, home, where my music's playing, home, where my love lies waiting silently for me. Silently for me.
may have seen on the back of the order of service at the bottom that Ginny Morgan, a beloved member, recently passed away after a 2-week illness. So let's hold her family, Frank, who's up in upstate New York, her husband, and her son, and everyone involved in her family. We'll hold them during our meditation.
I Belong There by Mahmoud Darwish. I belong there. I have many memories. I was born as everyone is born. I have a mother, a house with many windows, brothers, friends, and a prison cell. With a chilly window, I have a wave snatched by seagulls, a panorama of my own. I have a saturated meadow. In the deep horizon of my world, I have a moon, a bird's sustenance, and an immortal olive tree. I have lived on the land long before swords burned man into prey. I belong there. When heaven mourns for her mother, I return leaves to her mother. And I cry so that returning cloud might carry my tears, to break the rules I have learned, all the words needed for a trial by blood. I have learned and dismantled all the words in order to draw them from a single word: home.
On January 28th, 1948, a DC-3 plane carrying 32 Mexican immigrants who were being deported back to Mexico crashed in Los Gatos Canyon, California. Our great American songwriter Woody Guthrie saw the newspaper articles concerning this crash and noted that the pilot's and the co-pilot's name were listed. However, only a couple of the 32 Mexican immigrants who were being deported, only a couple of their names were mentioned. They were listed in the newspapers as only deportees. And Woody wrote this song called Deportee. The crops are all in, the peaches are rotting, the oranges piled in their creosote dung. You're flying them back to the Mexican border to pay all their money to wade back again. My father's own father, he waded that river. They took all the money that he made in his life. My brothers and sisters come work in the fruit trees. They rode on the truck till they lay down and died. Goodbye to my Juan, goodbye Rosalita, adios mis amigos, Jesus e Maria. You won't have a name when you ride that big airplane. All they will call you will be deportee. Some of us are illegal, some are not wanted. Our work contract's up and we have to move on. 600 miles to that Mexican border. They chase us like outlaws, like rustlers or thieves. We died in your hills, and we died in your deserts. We died in your valleys, died in your plains. We died neath your trees, and we died in your bushes. Both sides of the river, we died just the same. Goodbye to my Juan, goodbye Rosalita, adios mis amigos, Jesus and Maria. You won't have your names when you ride that big airplane. All they will call you will be deportee. Skyplane caught fire over Los Gatos Canyon, a fireball of lightning, and it shook all our hills. Who are these friends, all scattered like dry leaves? The radio said they were just deportees. Is this the best way we can grow our big orchards? Is this the best way we can grow our good fruit? To fall like dry leaves or to rot on my topsoil, called by no name except deportees. So goodbye to my Juan, goodbye Rosalita, adios mis amigos, Jesus e Maria. You won't have your name when you ride that big airplane. All they will call you will be deportees. No, you won't have no name when you ride that big airplane. All they will call you will be deportee.
Thank you for that. Good morning, friends. I'm honored to speak to you today about reimagining immigration. Not as a burden or challenge to be managed, but as one of the greatest opportunities for renewal, growth, and shared flourishing here in the Mahoning Valley. If you don't know me, I'm Chris Colon. I'm the Executive Director of Thrive Mahoning Valley. We are the newcomer servicing organization in this valley. We work directly with immigrants, refugees, returning citizens, and anybody moving to this community for the first time. We're in the midst of our annual celebration called Welcoming Week, this year happening from September 11th through the 21st, where we're hosting a lot of great events highlighting the things in this community that make us great. Our next event is coming up on Tuesday night at Westside Bowl. We're doing the Welcomer of the Year Awards, and it's free and open to the public starting at 5 o'clock. And on Thursday, we're hosting a panel discussion on pay equity and workforce development here in the Mahoning Valley at the Center for Working Class Studies at YSU from 3 to 5. You can see flyers for both of those events on the bulletin board. Let's talk a little bit about immigration here in the Mahoning Valley. Many of us know all too well that the Mahoning Valley has always been shaped by migration. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, people from Eastern and Southern Europe came here in great numbers to work in steel mills and factories. Even more migrated from the South and places like Puerto Rico for a chance at livable wages. These newcomers built neighborhoods, institutions, churches, synagogues, and stores. They raised families. They helped make Youngstown and Warren proud industrial centers. But over many decades, things changed. We all know too well the name, the Rust Belt, it's there. Deindustrialization, plant closures, population decline, all these things have affected us. Today, Youngstown is still built to accommodate almost 200,000 people. But the reality is we're hovering around 60,000 now. Warren, likewise, has lost tens of thousands since its peak. Before envisioning what could be, though, let's ground ourselves on what is. As of 2023, approximately 2.45% of Mahoning County's residents, that's about 5,560 of them, were born outside of the United States. More recent statistics show a slight increase in overall population of our valley, while other reports show a small decline. But the numbers of newcomers in our valley continue to go up. In more specific region, Youngstown, Boardman, Austintown only, 2.79% of residents are foreign-born. That's 5,220 people. So we know that most are hovering in those three communities. The foreign-born share in Mahoning County is rising slightly over time, as I mentioned. More recent statistics vary in outcome, but show that increase in the newcomer population, specifically from our Asian American counterparts. So Bangladesh, Nepal, India, we're seeing more than ever before. The county still faces high poverty, however. Nearly 19.5% of individuals live below the poverty line in Mahoning County. 28.3% of income in Mahoning County comes from the government. So we're talking about Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and other income support. That's about $3.3 billion distributed, or $14,659 per capita. It's not great. Given those numbers, what might reimagining immigration look like for our future? What if we see newcomers not as a fraction of the population, but as catalysts for change that unlock many of our unfulfilled potentials? Here are some possibilities. Workforce revival. Many industries in our region have labor shortages. We know from the Regional Chamber of Commerce there are over 3,000 jobs in the Mahoning County right now unfilled. Healthcare, manufacturing, construction, retail. Immigrants often fill crucial roles in these sectors in Ohio. Statewide, for example, immigrant residents work in a broad spectrum of jobs, from home health aides to truck drivers to software developers. And even modest increase in forward-born migration resulted in almost 15,000 new jobs in the last 10 years. In Mahoning County, that could strengthen the tax base, reduce labor gaps, and attract more employers that we need. 2, small business and entrepreneurship. Immigrants across Ohio are disproportionately represented among new business owners. These Main Street businesses, the small business that were scared away by big companies like Walmart, restaurants, stores, your service providers, they often fill retail and commercial gaps in neighborhoods that have been hollowed out by the big box stores. A revitalized downtown, lively commercial strips, and more local job sources come from supporting immigrant entrepreneurship. 3, revitalizations of neighborhoods and housing. Our built environment has excess capacity. We have empty homes, underused lots, and aging infrastructure. Families moving in or restoring houses, they're investing in gardens and commerce. They can help bring back the vibrancy that's faded in our community. As more people live, shop, and invest locally, property values stabilize. local tax revenues increase, and public services become more sustainable. 4, cultural and educational enrichment. Multiculturalism isn't about festivals or restaurants. We have a lot of those and they're wonderful. It's about education, about raising children who grow up comfortable with diversity, about schools where multiple languages are heard. It's about libraries, churches, civic institutions enriched by people of many traditions and faiths. Innovation and creativity often come where multiple viewpoints and experiences cross paths. And 5, economic growth and tax base expansion. At the state level, immigrants contributed over $7.3 billion in taxes in 2023, according to Policy Matters. For a county like ours, even a modest growth in that foreign-born population can expand the tax base. There's more sales, more property income taxes, more property taxes. That gives us more resources for roads, schools, public health, and improving the life for everyone. Let's talk about faith perspectives. Christians welcome immigrants and refugees because it's deeply rooted in their tradition. Passages like Leviticus 19:33-34, they teach, love your neighbor as yourself, the example of Jesus' ministry toward the outsider, the stranger, the orphan. Reimagining immigration is reimagining God's call on us to see the stranger as kin, to practice compassion, and to build justice. From our perspective as Unitarian Universalists, our principles affirm the inherent worth and dignity of every person. The goal of the world community to create peace and justice. We welcome refugees, we support immigrants, we create structures of belonging. All of that is how we embody our faith, not just in words, but in action and policy. So what would it take? To turn these possibilities into reality, what steps must we commit to as a community? Proactive welcoming infrastructure, cultural orientation, language support, transportation, job training, affordable housing. These are things that a lot of great organizations in our community do. These are the things that we should supply to our newcomers as well. Partnerships amongst local government, nonprofits, faith communities like this, employers, and schools. Policy that reduces barriers, licensing for businesses, recognition of foreign credentials, pathways to legal work. Investment in neighborhoods, fixing up the housing stock, making infrastructure stable and attractive. This is what we need. Encouragement of entrepreneurship, small grants, mentorship, and access to loans for our neighbors. A reimagined Mahoning Valley. This is what I imagine years from now. A Youngstown with more people, more diversity, no more empty houses, dilapidated ones restored, vibrant street life, street parties. New immigrants have opened shops, cafes, small businesses. Neighbors gathering around new tables, creating jobs not just for themselves, but for people not born here as well. The hospitals, nursing homes, factories, schools, staffed and thriving because newcomers have joined the workforce. Schools and classrooms full of different languages and cultures, equipping students with endless possibilities in a globalized world. Faith congregations, whether Christian, Unitarian Universalists, and any others, working side by side with newcomers, worshiping, serving, advocating. This is a reimagined Mahoning Valley. I hope you can imagine it with me.
I had a dream once. I was running through a field, and the sun was bright. It looked like early autumn, as there were cornfields, tall and stately. And they seemed to make up a maze, which I didn't understand. Though I never saw a dog, I thought I heard barking in the distance. Or maybe it was a tractor, an old farm hand yelling for his children to come home for supper. I was running, and I had the distinct feeling someone was on my trail, but I wasn't sure who. It felt like there may be eyes everywhere, scanning to assess my worthiness, scanning to see which category of person I best fit into. I had the distinct feeling I had experienced that scanner many times before. Sometimes I volunteered to put myself under the scanner without anyone asking me to, just to affirm and check some kind of worthiness, a secret assessment. In the dream, my heart was beating and my mouth was dry, and it was the kind of loud beating that makes your head vibrate with each thump, thump, thump. All I could hear at times was my own heartbeat as I ran. Then I woke up. I wasn't caught, and I didn't have the satisfaction of reaching a destination, some hidden border which only existed in my mind. I was awakened in the middle of running. I've enjoyed seeing some of the population changes since I've arrived in Youngstown, and the people who persevere and continue to call this place home. As Chris mentioned, the mills brought people from all over the country, from different groups of people from all over the world, who sometimes uneasily learned to work together. And sometimes it was surprisingly easy, the ways that neighbors allowed their children to play together and look out for one another. With the relative affordability of housing, I've seen during my brief time here an increase of people coming from all over, hoping Youngstown could be at home, or at least a way station. I've enjoyed seeing families here who are Nepalese, Indian, from different countries in the Middle East. I've enjoyed seeing the Hispanic population continue to grow and thrive. And I've enjoyed learning about those who live here who have roots in Eastern Europe, Romanis, those from Slovakia, and yes, Sicilians and Italians. I met a woman recently whose mother came here directly from Ireland to Youngstown, amazed at the love and sacrifice that made her life possible here. You've probably heard the story, Chris, but I'll never forget hearing from someone now in his 70s whose parents came to Youngstown about Puerto Ricans who began to call this place home. After World War II, many soldiers came back and their jobs are no longer here. In New York City, it began through word of mouth that if you got on a train at Grand Central Station heading to Chicago, and when you got off, when they yelled Youngstown, you would have a job. That is how many Puerto Ricans from New York came here and formed a community. I have never been in a city of this population size, around 60,000 people, that is as diverse as this place. And not just diverse, but rooted in culture and history, with a long legacy of navigating and having to relate to different kinds of people. It's truly a special place, and I'm glad I was allowed in. I was telling someone recently that the only reason we have a house is because members of this church knew we were looking for one and facilitated a conversation with someone who was considering selling their house, who had not yet put it on the market. When people move here from out of town, I tell them this church is one of the best networking sites I know. If you are wondering about how to navigate this city, from housing to where to find work, to how to deal with a parking ticket, which is unique in this city. I've learned. How to find good legal representation. Where to get connected to the arts. How to find curious and passionate people. This is a good place for that. For me, and I'm curious if this is true for you, for me, it takes a lot less effort and not too much imagination to wonder how I can make someone's life better. Not to add to their problems and fears, but as a community to help each other navigate through what is ours to navigate through. I spoke with someone recently about how to access good health care for someone who is trans. And they were surprised, not knowing anything about our church, why a church would care about someone's health care. And my response to them was very simple. If we can help another human, we should. We don't have creeds here. But if you had to pick one, that may not be a bad one. If we can help another person, we should. I've been using the term reimagining a lot in my personal life. Reimagining old stories, old attitudes, old assumptions. It's been very freeing to be reminded how things could be different. And most importantly, we could be different. And I've enjoyed the powerful simplicity of that. It's within my power and our power to help someone. And we should. Because I know I need help too. One of the greatest forms of help I need sometimes is a reminder that the world has beauty in it. And music helps me access that beauty. So I'm grateful for anyone who plays an instrument, who offers their voice as an offering to something that I need. It sustains me. If we can do anything to sustain one another, we should do it. It may sound kind of naive, but I think it's possible to access the beauty of the earth. The beauty of living with each other, even in crisis. Maybe especially in crisis. To come to understand what really matters in the end, a way of helping each other through whatever is ours to go through. I'm glad I was given the space and encouragement to imagine that. And with your help, to try to live it. Please pray with me. Spirit of love, thank you so much for everyone who made this service possible. For Lisa's timely and powerful words about how to engage with democracy with wholeheartedness. For Dirk, who stepped in this morning and ran all our AV like a gangsta up there. for Tim Raridan and Jeff Krause for offering their voices as an offering to energy and beauty and poetry. And for the wonderful Chris Colon, who offered his expertise and passion and paths for pragmatic ways we can make this valley better. All this we pray in gratitude. Amen. And please rise for our closing hymn. Come and go with me to that land. 10:18.
Now, you all know this one, so let's raise the roof. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land where I'm bound. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land where I'm bound. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land where I'm bound. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land where I'm bound. There'll be justice in that land. Gonna be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land where I'm bound. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land where I'm bound. There'll be singing in that land. There'll be singing in that land. There'll be singing in that land where I'm bound. Yeah, there'll be singing in that land. Gonna be singing in that land. There'll be singing in that land where I'm bound. First verse. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land where I'm bound. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land where I'm bound.
My friends, we extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we keep in our hearts until we meet again.
Everywhere I look around, I see love. You notice that in the windows? It's all over, wherever you look. As you depart, please remember the one great fact. You are loved. Everybody. And never truly alone.
Make me a channel of your peace. Where there is hatred hatred, let me bring your love. Where there is injury, your pardon, Lord. And where there is doubt, true faith in you. O Master, grant that I may never seek so much to be controlled as to control, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love with all my soul. Make us a channel of your peace, for it is in pardoning that we are pardoned. It is in growing and giving we receive, and in helping to love with all our heart.